Hi, and welcome to this installment of Frank and Mary in Northborough. For those of you who haven't seen the show before, my name is Art Bergeron. I'm an elder law attorney. I work at Myrick O'Connell. I do nothing but elder law, and this is not about law. The purpose of this show, which really kind of grew out of some of the elder law work I do, was to acquaint you with the people you need to know as a senior and the programs you need to know so that you can stay at home. Like my friends Frank and Mary. Oftentimes I do my presentations and I always talk about my friends Frank and Mary and their kids, Peter, Paul, and Mary Jr. And I always say their goal in life is to live in their house till they die and be buried in the backyard. And if they live in Northborough, they want that backyard to be in Northborough. They want to stay here. So the question is, how can you make Northborough the kind of place where people can just live as long as they're alive? So as the obvious co-host for this show, I somehow convinced Kelly Burke, whom once no one knows me, everyone knows Kelly, who's the director of the Senior Center, to co-host this show. And also, she's the one who finds the great guests that we have on the show all the time. And among others, you've got another wonderful one today. So nice to see you again.
It's nice to see you too.
Always great. And now who do we have today?
Well, I'm happy to introduce you to Anna, who's the director of PBSI in Worcester, and I'm going to let her explain what all those initials mean.
What all of those mean. And now we were just talking a little bit beforehand. Also, so tell us what PBSI stands for, and tell us how you ended up here. Are you a Northborough person originally? Are you a Worcester person? What do how did you end up where you're doing?
Sure.
Right?
So PBSI is a Paratransit Brokerage Services Transportation Management, Inc. We have a very long name.
Wow, that's incredible.
I was going to forget something.
That's an incredible name. Okay.
Yeah. So we are a contractor that works on behalf of Worcester Regional Transit Authority.
The WRTA. That
That's
people may be more familiar with those initials, right? So
And-
you're a contractor to them.
That's correct. And what we do is my department is responsible for customer service for the WRTA community, as well as paratransit services, where we take trip requests and also create schedules for several of the local towns, including Northborough, Boylston, Westborough, West Boylston, Auburn, Leicester, Oxford, and the city of Worcester.
How does she do that? So
I know, it's great.
So why is it there are just specific towns for which you're doing schedules? I'm just kind of curious.
That's correct.
Yeah.
So the WRTA, in addition to having a contract with us,
Yeah.
Also has several contracts with other groups that provide the services that we provide to their specific communities.
I get it. So you're the ones on behalf of WRTA who are taking care of Northborough.
That's correct.
Right. And Kelly knows all of this stuff obviously because she's doing it every day. But I bet nobody else has any idea how this works. So can you explain how the system works? First of all, one of the things you mentioned when we were before the show, which I never knew, was that there is federal regulation that specifies that if you're running a kind of a regional transit system, that among other things, you actually have to have an alternative system for folks who are over 60 or disabled, right?
Right. So under federal regulations, any transit authority that provides fixed route service, so that's the big buses that travel along a predetermined route.
Yeah.
That agency has to provide services to individuals with disabilities, regardless of their age, who are not able to use the fixed route service for either some or all of their trips because of some functional issues that prevent them from using the regular service.
I see. I thought it was fascinating because I bet you that happened around the time of the Americans with Disabilities Act.
Yes.
I bet it was
I
like
think
like a function of
Right.
that. So
I
it's
think that is.
fascinating. So tell us how all of that works.
Right. So the WRTA
Yeah.
does not run a fixed route service in the town of Northborough. However, in addition to the federally required ADA-related paratransit services, the WRTA also offers similar services works with the town of Northborough through Kelly to provide paratransit services to anyone who lives in the town of Northborough, who's over the age of 60, or also anyone who's younger who has a documented disability.
And when you say, is that 60 and older or over 60?
Over 60.
Over 60. So 60, everybody 61 and older can call.
60 and
Oh, it is. So it's actually 60 and
Yeah,
that's what I was
the magic
wondering.
number.
Yeah, 60 is the magic number. And so how do people take advantage of that service? How do they do it? How do they connect with you, right? What are the mechanisms? Where can they go? What's the sign up? Can you just kind of
Sure.
talk about what that is? Because
So-
once again, I know that people maybe have some sense of it, and I bet you've got some regular users.
Oh, yeah,
And I bet
absolutely.
there's a whole bunch of others who are just totally clueless on this, right? So just,
It's a good
if you could
service, yeah.
explain that, that would be great.
So there's two ways that you can register for the service. One is through the Northborough Senior Center. Another way would be for the person to get in contact with our office directly. So our number is 508-752-9283. And when you call, you speak with one of our call takers.
And by the way, we'll get a banner for this show so that the people will be able to see this number
Okay, very
while
good.
the show is going, all right?
Right.
That'd be great.
And once you call, you reach one of our call takers. They take down your information, so your first name, your last name, your address, your date of birth. Also, they ask some questions in regards to your need for the vehicle. So for example, if you're someone who uses a wheelchair, we need to know that information. If you use a walker, we need to know that information. And also if you travel with a service animal, or if you tend to travel with a companion or a PCA, that's some information that we ask you.
Because you can actually accommodate for all of that?
That's correct. Yep. So once you are registered with us, what happens is we send the Northborough town brochure to you that has some specific information about the service. In addition to that, we also mail you a schedule. So the schedule basically is something that the town of Northborough with us set up to help riders, to help group as many trips as possible so that the service can be both efficient and meet the needs of the public as well. So when you get the schedules, that kind of gives you a guideline of where you can go during which hours. But typically the service runs Monday through Thursday between 7:30 and 3:30 p.m. And then on Fridays, we 7:30 a.m. to about 11:40 a.m.
So it's throughout the week. And when you talk about schedules, can you talk about, so what are I want to say they're fixed schedules, they're schedules, meeting schedules of like what certain destinations that would happen, that you could go to that day?
So it's a combination of
Yeah.
both.
Right.
Yeah.
It's also door to door.
That's correct.
So people, when they make their appointments, obviously their address, and they need to know the address of where they're going.
I see. So when you say a schedule, the schedule is just the times during which the bus is operating,
That's
right?
correct.
Right.
Not necessarily a schedule that says, on Monday we're going from,
A little bit.
yeah?
Yeah, just to make it a little bit more
A
complicated.
little bit.
And I
Is it-
should say,
yeah.
you know what, I made an error. It's curb to curb. It's not a door-to-door service.
Curb to curb. Oh, right, so they got to be at the curb to the,
Yeah.
I get it. So can you give some examples of kind of where, what you folks have agreed to in terms of the places where oftentimes people would go?
So Monday through Thursday,
Yep.
people are able to schedule trips in town for any purpose, and then out of town trips for medical appointments or for work-related purposes. Then we also have on Mondays and Thursdays, on rotating basis, there's what we call our specials, where, for example, on the first Monday of every month, there's a trip to Walmart. So clients are picked up at 1 o'clock and to be brought to Walmart and brought back at 3 p.m. So that's our way of trying to group as many people as possible so that we operate an efficient service.
Yeah.
The second Monday of every month, we go to Christmas tree shop. Third Monday is Lyman Street. Is that what it is? Lyman Street?
Lyman.
Yeah, Lyman Street.
Lyman Street. Yes.
What would you do in the Lyman's?
Lyman Street Plaza.
Oh, the plaza,
yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
The fourth Monday, we go to South Pond Mall, and then if there's a fifth Monday in the month, which does happen,
Every once in a while.
right, we do go to, West Meadow Plaza. on those
So do
days.
you find that although I don't know if you would, because people aren't coming to the senior center to go, but I was wondering if you find that many of the same people are using the service
Yes.
like monthly?
Yes, yeah, there definitely are, like Anna was saying, the regulars that
Yeah.
go. A lot of people use the service to come up to the senior center, so they can come up for lunch or to go to any activity.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
And, you know, and it's a great thing to use for medical appointments. As you know, driving into Worcester, well, maybe not for you, but for some people it's a little bit intimidating. It's a lot of traffic, and you know, this service is great because they pull right up to the door, and you know, you don't have to go to a garage or that kind of thing. So people, I think, really appreciate that too, for going to doctor's appointments and coming home.
And how far will you go? I mean, there must be there's got to be some limit to how far, right?
There is.
How does that work? In terms of the doctor's appointments, because I would think that would be the most common out-of-town
common.
visit, right?
So for medical appointments, we do bring people to Worcester
Yeah.
for medical appointments, and then any adjacent towns for medical appointments as well.
I get it. So you're not bringing people to Boston,
No.
right?
No.
But Worcester, I would bet that the vast majority of folks are connected with either St. Vincent's or the
Yeah,
UMass
absolutely.
system, right?
Yeah.
So that's a real convenience.
Yeah, and all of the vans are owned by WRTA and insured by them. And
Even
we
though,
have-
and how much do you charge them for the parking space?
Oh, because
Now,
we're in a
come on.
contract together.
Come on, you're a
You know,
team.
we're
You're
a team. Yeah,
So the
it's a good
WRTA
team.
buses that they always see in your parking lot, they're
Are
actually,
owned by
They're
WRTA,
actually their
but
buses, yeah.
they do have, you know, our name on there, Northborough COA, so people know. And the van drivers, we
I
have.
didn't realize that. So it's branded as North.
It is
Does it
branded.
say both? Is it WRTA and Northborough? Oh, that's
Yes,
great.
it's wrapped.
I
That's great.
believe
the-
it actually
the
says
WRTA and-
owned by the WRTA,
Yeah,
operated by
yeah.
I got it.
Northborough Senior Center.
And who are the bus drivers? Are
Bus
they
drivers,
your bus drivers? Are they
they
their
are.
bus drivers? Who are they?
They are mine, but
Yeah.
I share them with PBSI
Yes.
because
Yes.
they're in contact with, Anna has a great staff that talk to my drivers every day. So they either fax or email in the schedule for the next day. Well, you know, we get that in
Yeah.
the afternoon before. And then when the drivers come in to the senior center in the morning, they pick up that manifest so they know where they're going for that day. The nice thing too is that WRTA has provided computers, little computers, mentors, that they're on
Yeah.
the vans, that actually is an electronic version of the manifest, and that little thing can be a GPS, and it's a phone,
Oh,
and
wow.
so they
That's
can,
so good.
you know, the schedulers can send messages right to the van drivers if somebody cancels or
Right.
is running late at an appointment, something like that.
And I bet the GPS is just such a convenience,
It
right?
is.
Because
It's great.
if it's if it's curbside, that means they're going all over the place.
Right, they
Right?
really are.
And
yeah.
they may know the street, but to know the fastest way, like all the time. So who are your bus drivers? Are they paid employees? Are they volunteers?
Yes, yep, they're paid employees
Yeah.
of Northborough, and they're a great group of guys. I can't say enough good things about them, that they are friendly, and they get people to their appointments on time, and, you know, and the important thing to remember too is that it's a public transportation service. It's not a taxi where, you know, you're picked up and then people wait for you to come out. They're busy dropping
Right.
other people off at appointments and things like that, but they get back to get you. When folks call in to Anna's office, to PBSI, they tell them, I need an hour at this doctor's appointment or an hour and a half, and they're great in accommodating that. So, and the
'Cause
prices are.
that's got to be a challenge. I mean, you're just coordinating. You got a lot of
That's a lot of work,
you got a lot
yeah.
of pieces that are going.
They have a
right?
great, obviously great staff, but they have a
Yep.
nice computer system too that helps them arrange all those.
And is there any charge for any of this to Northborough, to the seniors?
Yes, yep, there is a charge that goes out by town.
So any trips taking in town is $1.50 one way, and an additional quarter for each town that you go out.
That you go through, I see, I see. And how does that get charged? Does that, when you're walking into the, is it like the, little fair thing and you drop in the coins?
So prior to the beginning of the year,
Prior to very recently.
Very
Yes,
recent.
very
This is big
recently.
news.
yes, we, as of January 1st, we transitioned into an automated fare collection system where our riders no longer have to pay the driver when the vehicles arrive. So currently, the way the system works is each of our registered rider has a fare account set up with my office, and they add funds to that account. So they can
I
add
see.
funds through many different ways via
It's like
credit.
It's like FastPass.
Very
Yeah.
similar to Fastlane.
Yep.
So there's 4 different ways to add funds to these accounts.
Yeah.
One is through an online portal with a credit card or a debit card where you can set it up as a one-time payment. So let's say today I'm going to add $20 to my account, or you can set it up as a reoccurring payment. So let's say today I'm going to add $20 to my account.
I see.
But as I use the service and the fare gets deducted and my balance reaches $5, it will charge my card another $20. Another option is to call the call center at the same time as you're calling to request your trips, and you can add funds via a credit card or a debit card with staff. They can process that for you. Third option will be for clients to mail in a check or a money order issued to the WRTA, and those get mailed to the WRTA customer service. And our address is 60 Foster Street in Worcester, Massachusetts,
Which will also
01608.
also be in that banner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can have either checks or money orders that are sent to us. And a fourth option would be via cash at the WRTA customer service located in Worcester.
I see. But in all cases, you're prepaying.
You are
So
prepaying for the
you
trips.
you don't have to go through any of this hassle of trying to figure out what's going on when you're walking onto the vehicle.
That's correct.
And not having
That's-
correct change, which we used to ask people to have correct change, because of course, drivers didn't have change and that kind of
Right,
thing.
right.
So I think, when the efficiency of it and the time spent in exchanging money is gone now.
It's
So
gone.
it's I think it's great.
It makes
So-
it a safer environment as well because there's
no
no
money
money
around.
on the vehicles anymore.
That's right.
Yeah, not to say that we've had an issue with that, because we
Right.
were fortunate enough not to have an issue with it, but it just creates a less stressful environment for the riders and also for the drivers.
Yeah.
Right. And like, who uses money anymore? I mean, isn't it strange?
know,
Once
I
again,
know.
for us, not you young people, when you act to have grown up, seeing a lot of money
No,
move
that's
around,
right,
and
that's
now
right.
it's like I found myself. It's just like non-existent. It's just non-existent.
Yeah, it's
so
true.
so Kelly, so you've been there for quite a while now. So how has this changed? How has the program grown and changed over the time that you've been senior center director? And from what you hear from seniors in Northborough, how do you see that changing in the future? How do you see it growing? How do you see the needs perhaps changing in general? Because transportation, as we've often talked about it, whether it's Frank and Mary are, basically, if you're going to stay at home as you get older, right? And even if you really want to have your car, you want to have your car, but you don't want to be driving it a lot. So to the extent that you've got this kind of service, it's really helping, the folks that we deal with all the time.
Oh, it absolutely, I see it helping every day. So we, when I arrived in 2005 in Northborough, there was a small bus company named Avcoa that actually did the
Avcoa.
transportation. That was the name of it. And then in 2008, WRTA and Northborough got together and decided to do a contract and provide the service through the senior center and with PBSI. And so there was a little bit of a, getting used to dialing another number,
hiccup, yeah.
but people were used to calling another organization to book that ride.
I see.
And so it was pretty seamless there. And the other really great thing is we got Evcoa drivers that already knew the older adults here in town. And
Oh,
so
they were the same people
they were
that
the
just
same-
switched
They
over.
just switched
I get it.
over. So
Yeah.
we had some great van drivers that have passed now, but got the program off to a good start. And so I've just
So
seen
do you have
it-
like pictures of them in the corridor?
I
you know, that,
should.
right?
I should.
In memoriam, the
Yes,
bus drivers.
yes, yeah, they
Because I
were,
suppose if you're a senior and you've just been living with the same bus driver for like 10, 15
I think that
years.
was very comforting to people
Yeah.
to see the same smiling face when they came
It's like,
in the
Fred,
van. Yeah,
nice
yeah.
to, right?
Yeah, it was Mike Ryan and Kevin Daly who have passed that were great van drivers. Joe Duca came on at the same time as those folks in 2008. He was from Evcoa as well. He's still providing service with us, and we've added great van drivers. So
And how many vans are there, by the way?
there are 3 vans.
There were 3.
There are 2 vans on the road Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
And then we have 1 van on the road, and it just does Northborough predominantly on Friday because of the 1 van.
I got it.
And so I think, again, we're going to see, just like we see major growth in the whole older adult population, it's going to be another service that, tends to hold that group of people.
In terms of numbers, it's just going to keep on growing.
Like all of our numbers are going to go up.
Now, do you have
going up.
just? I'm not looking for statistics, but in kind of order of magnitude, comparing how many people use the service in a day or a week when you came, versus how many people use it now. Do you have a sense of that, of how much that's grown?
I've seen, you probably know maybe more statistically. I just
We
know it from-
typically, it depends on the month and how many full days
Yeah.
the month falls on. But on average, I would say we do about 350 riders a month.
Trips.
Yeah. So that includes all the people that we've transported. The riders, their PCAs, and any companions that are going with them. And it does change month to month if we have a month that has holidays and the vehicles
Or
are not.
bad weather.
Right.
that
I was
kind
going
of
to
thing.
say, are there seasons that are much busier than others in terms of like the ridership?
Absolutely. Typically, winter seasons slow down a little bit. For some reason, August tends to be a slower month as well. We typically see more riders in the spring months. And then I would say June, July is usually a large, higher number of trips.
And in terms of who's riding, do they tend to be on the younger side? You're saying you're 60 and older, that's a big range, right? Who is your kind of, is there a such thing as a kind of a typical rider or a group that uses this more versus other age groups? I'm just curious.
I can't give you the specific breakdown, 60 to 65.
But kind of anecdotally, based on what you've seen.
But what we see is we have the usuals, so the clients
Of
that
course.
we know this day, that's where they're going to be going, the clients that come to the senior center religiously, so we almost expect these trips to happen. And then we have the population who use the service for medical appointments. So let's say
I
in
see.
town, they either get around, they drive, but places like Worcester, they don't, they feel more comfortable using our service. So we have the clients who are kind of the typical riders who use it religiously, and then those that are more occasional riders. And with time, you see people transition to rely on the service a little bit more, as they age and maybe their ability to drive is not as good as it was previously.
Sure, and they get more comfortable with it.
Right.
They just get more, as you say, and they know the driver, so it isn't like
I
it's...
think that makes a big difference. And,
Right.
and I think, that once people give it a shot and see, how satisfied they are, then they're going to be returned and they'll become regulars too.
And from your perspective, if you could add anything, right? Because you've got a program that's obviously working well and it's got a big history and you've got a lot of clientele. If you were growing this program, how would it change, right? Or if you were, in terms of the schedule, for example, are there other places that you think would be would be great other places for folks to be going, once again, if you had capacity. Right? I'm just
Right,
curious.
obviously, if we had that capacity,
Yeah.
we do get people who want to go to Framingham and Boston. That's not going to happen within the parameters that we have.
Right.
We could always extend hours. The senior center's open until 8 o'clock on Tuesday nights. And
So you have to have last call.
That's right.
Especially if you start doing wine nights and stuff. You have to get
that's probably not going to happen. But maybe to add,
But to
and
add
we
some
look at
time,
that, for the schedule at the senior center too. That's always something that we're, thinking about, and into the future, maybe we'll be doing different hours there, and we could turn to the to PBSI and WRTA and talk about those things. So right now, there's a finite amount of hours that we
Right.
can access for the van drivers, every week. So
But it sounds like it just works well.
It does
sounds
work
like.
well.
So once again, we're going to have on that banner, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're talking to our tech people who are listening to
yeah.
it, right? We're going to have that. We're going to have the address, and we're going to have the phone number,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe is there even an email address where you?
We do have an email.
Great. If you could just kind of get that contact information. This is really terrific, right?
is
So it
really
really gives,
terrific.
I think it gives, you got 400 people who are, or 400 trips, you got a lot of seniors here, right? So there's a lot of people who haven't tried it yet, right?
Right,
So just to
yep.
get them to go for that, and you get a great destination. You can see Kelly, right? You can go to the senior
Go to the
center.
senior
You can
center and
actually-
have-
you can actually
have
see
One of the
lunch.
most
Yes.
happening senior centers in central Massachusetts,
Oh,
that's for sure.
That's
very
our new
special.
logo
Yes.
now.
It's very special. It's very special. So thank you so much for that. So at the end of our shows, for the last 5 minutes, I get to ask Kelly what's going on and what's new and what's exciting at the senior center. So what's new?
Wow.
What's going to be
Well,
new?
we got some exciting things happening in the bistro. We're going to have, I
The
just talked
bistro's
to
always popping.
Vicki today, and she and Carolyn are going to have something for the Super Bowl next week. So we're
That's pretty
talking about
terrific.
maybe Brady burgers, or I know there's a whole lot of things that they've got up their sleeve. So you keep looking for that.
Now, is there a widescreen?
We don't have a widescreen. No, we're not doing. This will be during the week.
You got to talk to the friends.
I
You got to talk
know,
to the
yeah,
friends.
they're
We need a
good.
widescreen.
They're good.
Yeah.
And then we today we had a show on downsizing, and everybody's
Oh.
attachment to their stuff. So we had a lot of people attending that. That's a very hot topic about where to go next.
Yep.
Tomorrow we're having a cooking demonstration with Orchard Grove. Their chefs coming over, and
Oh.
we're going to do a demo. And so
I
that'll
suppose
be fun.
you got that big kitchen, so it's
Yes.
Now, do you often do that? Do you often do?
We don't often do
Yeah.
that, but
That's a great feature.
Yeah, we look forward to doing this because
Yep.
I think it'll be fun for people to learn something new. January is kind of a dull month, so you want to spice up your cooking, maybe.
Yeah, because you're not going to be going out much.
No.
I mean, there's just about, at the end of January, there are, even for people who've lived here forever, there's just nothing.
There's That's
Terrific
why you got
about
to
the-
you got to come up to Barefoot Road.
You got to cook. That's right. That's right. That's a great. So that's very exciting.
That's exciting. We have new exercise classes. We have a flex and tone class. We have a new chair yoga class that just started, and we're going to have a gentle ballet starting in March. So
Gentle ballet.
yes, because we do have the ballet bar in one of our classrooms. So
The ballet bar.
the ballet bar. I know
I
where
was,
you're
I
going
was,
with that.
I was envisioning something completely different,
Right,
obviously.
emphasis on the
yeah,
ballet.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be fun. So we have great instructors, and as you know, great chefs, and we've got outreach.
That's an
We've
exciting month. And by the way, I know we've got Valentine's Day coming.
Yes, and we're going to have a special.
You are.
Yes.
But we're not going to talk about what.
Well, I might be able to sneak it out. I
Ah,
think
that's-
lobster ravioli.
Oh, that's all good.
That's good.
This is all
That'll
good.
be a special. So
So another exciting month at
yes,
the Northborough Senior Center.
absolutely.
Thank you so much for
Oh, you're very
coming
welcome.
on. And I can see
Anytime.
that just from the conversation between the two of you that obviously things kind of move smoothly. Because
I'm going to take one opportunity to shout out to one of Anna's staff that I'm in contact with a lot.
Who is?
Drum roll, please.
yes. And this is?
No,
This is good.
Isn't that awful? That's
This
what
is good.
I'm having a
To
senior
Anna,
moment.
to that, well, you know, and it's so great to see it
Foley.
happen. It's so great to have it happen to her. This happens to me all the time.
It's
right?
Carolyn Foley,
Carolyn Foley. That's great. Who is like a regular?
who is one of Anna's staff.
She makes
Yes.
it all happen.
She
Oh,
did,
she really,
Yeah.
because that's the thing about transportation. It's like a million little things.
Yes.
Everything's got to go
Yes,
right.
yeah.
Yes.
In
And
order
there's-
for anything to go
yeah,
right.
She's
It's
the
all got to
one that
work.
makes sure everything always goes right.
That's right. Yeah.
That's all
She's
great.
like Oz back there, you know? but-
That's
I
all
did
great.
tell her if we do this again or when we do this again,
She's going to be
coming.
here. Yeah, she'll be next year's transportation guest.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah, we're
thank you.
getting her in here.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Whether
Thank
I
you.
remember her name or
Well,
not.
remember. Oh, I'm so glad you did that. Oh, this
Well,
is
I
great.
know this is going to be cut.
Now I'm going to tell the other two, her two friends, Trish Pope and Janice Lawn, the senior center directors in Marlborough and Hudson, about this. This is
Don't
so,
tell Carolyn.
thank you so much, and don't cut this. Don't cut this, please. Thank you so much to you both. Thank you for watching, and we'll look forward to talking to you next month on the next installment of Frank and Mary in Northborough. Thank you very much.